All right, we have determined why we want to do this. We've decided what things we're willing to give up. We've got skin in the game, and now it's time to set our goals. Stick around, we'll talk about sizzling steak. All right, step 4, set a goal. Now, I think you should have a number of goals associated with, but it's a big goal. A lot of people just set a weight goal. What weight do you want to arrive at? How much do you want to lose? They're both similar, but I think different enough that you should have both components there. How many pounds do you want to lose? But what is your ultimate weight that you want to arrive at the end of this journey? Where do you want to be and where do you want to stay? So choose a weight. Now weight is kind of an inaccurate number for this, but we use it. That's what we use for reference. Weight. I also want you to look at fat. Lose fat, not just weight. What do you want your fat percentage to go to, and how much fat do you want to lose? Also, I want you to set a goal for size. Kind of like what I did partway through my journey. I started with a weight goal, and I started with a reason why that changed. Part of my goal was not size, but it became part of my goal. I think it's good to set that goal in the beginning if you can believe it. So your goal has to be believable. If you set a size goal that you don't believe you will ever attain, then it might actually be counterproductive, but that's part of a goal that you might include with your plan. You could also add a goal to your plan of activities that you would like to do. A lot of people like to do rock climbing or running, trampoline, whatever it is, an activity that you've been discouraged about, that you haven't done in years, that you would like to do again, that would be a good thing to add to your goal. Something, I don't know if this would be a goal or not, but something to think about. What other things are important to you about losing this weight and losing this fat? Maybe compliments and smiles from the opposite sex. Maybe look backs. Maybe if you notice that somebody looks back at you after you walk by, it's kind of fun. So those could be inspirational things as well for you to add to your goal. Those things are a little bit harder to measure than weight, size, or fat loss and activities that you want to be able to do, but still kind of fun. Okay, let's talk about setting goals. Goals for this plan need to be SMART goals. Specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and timely. You might have heard these terms before, but really, they need to be SMART goals. Let's talk about specific. When you're making a specific goal, I want you to put some color on it. I want you to put a goal on how are you going to feel? What are you going to look like? When you look in the mirror, what are you going to see? How much are you going to spend on a new wardrobe once you reach your new goal? How are you going to feel about your energy level? Now, about the measurable part, if your goal isn't specific, how will you be able to measure whether or not you're progressing towards your goal? So with a very specific goal, you're going to be able to measure, are you progressing toward that goal or not? So let's make it specific and measurable. Okay, actionable. We need to be taking steps every single day to reach this goal. So you need to break this down into action steps. You need to decide the night before exactly what you're going to do the next day in order to progress towards your goal. It needs to be something that's actionable every single day. Now, this is a principle that works in every part of your life. Actionable steps that you plan out the night before so that when you wake up, you know what you're going to be doing that day. I don't know if you're like me, but for me, if I don't have a plan set out already and I get up in the morning, I have no idea what I was planning to do. And I'm pretty much going to be wasting time figuring it out or not getting anything done. So with this plan, I want you to have an action plan set out for the next day every night before you go to sleep. Okay, your goal needs to be realistic. Seriously, if it's not a realistic goal, you won't believe in it and you won't be able to make it because you won't believe in achieving this goal. So is your goal realistic? Do you believe in it? Do you believe that you can reach this goal? I'm going to change to a different topic just for a minute, just to illustrate this point. So if I set a goal that I want to increase my vertical jump so that I can jump over the house, because I really don't want to go back in I don't want to go back in the house to get the key, to go in the back gate and all the way around. I just want to jump over the house, right? Is that a realistic goal for me to work on, to jump over the house? I really just don't believe I'm going to ever be able to attain that. But if I set a goal to be able to increase my vertical jump from 2 inches to 16 inches, that is a much more believable goal that I could really work on every single day to attain a higher vertical jump than I currently have right now. If you don't believe the goal, you're going to fail before you even start, because you're not really going to try to achieve that goal. If it's a goal that you believe in and you get excited about and something you want to work on every single day, now that's a realistic goal. All right, we have to put timing on the end of SMART. Now, timing is critical, because if there's no time constraint, why would we ever do it? When you create a goal, there has to be a time frame. When will you achieve this goal? And who's going to keep you on track? For this part of the SMART goal system, you have to have a coach or an accountability partner, really, because it's so easy to say, oh, I can push it out another week, I can push it out another month, oh, I can push it out another year. Oh, I kind of blew it this week, I'll start again on Monday. For the timing to work, you have to have an accountability coach, somebody that's going to keep you on track. This has to be somebody that's not going to say, it's okay, you're being too hard on yourself. Don't worry about it, you'll get back on track. That is not accountability, and you won't reach your goal in a timely fashion. Along with the timely goal and an accountability coach, I'm addicted to rewards. To help me go along with the timeliness of my goal, I set weekly rewards. If I achieve my goal, I get a reward. For example, for every pound I exceed my weekly goal in losing, I get $10. Where does that $10 come from? We'll be talking about that in a minute. For every pound I miss my goal, like when I had a cheat day, I missed my goal. For every pound I miss my goal, I have to pay $10. So there's a reward on one side, and there's a bit of a punishment on the other side. Don't like to use the word punishment, but I couldn't come up with a good synonym for getting punished for missing my goal. All right, let's pause for a second. I just want to rehash a little bit and make sure that we're clear on everything. If you're not clear, if you have questions or comments, put some comments down below. Put your questions down below so I can address them. All right, first of all, we've created a reason why. Why are you going to do this? Second, you've determined some things that you're willing to give up for this plan, and you might have identified some things that you might not be willing to give up with this plan. Let's define what those things are. What are you willing to give up? What are you not willing to give up? We might need to work on some of those not willing things. 3, make an investment. You've got to have skin in the game. And 4, make a goal. All right, I'm really excited about this recipe. I call it Steak Sizzle. The first few times I made it, I just made it with steak and it was awesome. Then I tried it with chicken. Then I tried it with shrimp. And then, now I always make it with all 3. Just because it's extra awesome with all 3. I made it once with salmon all by itself, and that was awesome too, so try it that way. Steak Sizzle. Alright, well, I start with steak. Whatever steak you want. I've done it with tenderloin, which is my favorite. Probably the most expensive. Filet mignon medallions are amazing, obviously. They're more expensive. You can go with ribeye, New York strip steak, skirt steak, whatever you want really, as long as it's a nice cut of beef. I do about a half a pound of chicken breast, whatever a chicken breast turns out to be weight-wise, and about a half a pound of frozen shrimp, obviously peeled. I put in a little bit of Himalayan salt because of the magical characteristics of Himalayan salt. I put in a bunch of black pepper, about a teaspoon, but I really like freshly ground black pepper, so sometimes I put in a little bit more. Of course, I didn't put cayenne on the list here, but I always add a little cayenne or chipotle. You can use butter. I like to use avocado oil or coconut oil instead, about 2 tablespoons in a skillet. Put that in there, get the skillet heated up until the oil starts to smoke. I use about a cup of fresh mushrooms, or, you know, when you go to the produce section, you can buy a container with mushrooms already sliced up. So however much is in that, that's what I use. I used to chop my own mushrooms up, but now I just buy them already sliced. And then, of course, I always use a red bell pepper. And then about a half of a red onion that I chop up. Now, I put optional ingredients here, but all the ingredients are optional, even on the main ingredients page. One thing that I started adding lately is ginger root. I get a ginger root from the grocery store, I peel it, and I dice it up. And I put about a tablespoon, maybe tablespoon and a half of minced up ginger root. I think it makes an amazing... Oh, there's the cayenne. I did have that on the list. I always put cayenne in just about everything. Grape tomatoes, sliced up in halves. They're easy to do, and they add a lot of color. I guess I'm kind of going backwards on this thing. I like to add some greenery, whether it's broccoli, zucchini, kale, spinach, whatever it is. I like to add some of that because of the health benefits and the green color. Color makes a big difference, I think. Alright, so to start out, get your oil nice and heated up, throw the onion in and the ginger. I didn't put garlic on the ingredients list because I don't love garlic very much, but if you like garlic, mince up a garlic clove and throw it in. Throw it in with the onion, stir it all up with the onion and ginger until it really, the smell starts coming out, but not too long, because you want to start adding the chicken as soon as possible. You want your chicken to get nice and seared. Stir it for about a minute. I like the chicken to be more well done than the steak. So add the chicken, stir it for about a minute, then add your diced up, sliced up steak pieces. Again, stir for another minute or so, then add your salt and pepper. If you add your salt and pepper too early, the pepper's going to make you sneeze. So wait until you've got the chicken and steak in there and you're stirring it up, then add your salt and pepper. After about a minute, then add pretty much everything else. Put the shrimp, the peppers, your mushrooms, zucchini, kale, spinach, grape tomatoes, you know, whatever you're going to add. Stir for about 2 more minutes, but not very much longer, no more than that, really, because you want your veggies to be nice and firm and semi-crisp. And you're ready to serve. Serve this over a bed of cauliflower rice. You know, if you eat cauliflower rice all by itself, it still tastes like cauliflower. But if you put this recipe on top of cauliflower rice, it's more like eating regular rice. And it's delicious and amazing and cruciferous.